July 25th, 2012. Canadian home prices to tumble 25% in long term. Capital Economics Report. Toronto. If the Canadian real estate market continues to cool, house prices could see substantial declines next year and could fall by as much as 25% over the long term, according to an economics report released Wednesday. Though some economists have suggested that a tepid slowdown so far in the market suggests it is headed for a soft landing. Capital Economics economist David Mandy said he continues to believe that a more drastic drop is on its way. We think a housing correction over the longer term is inevitable, and still stand by our earlier view of house prices declining by 25%, he said in the report. Canada's real estate market is showing signs of cooling off, following a post-recession boom sparked by a move to ultra-low interest rates. Both national home sales and the average home price were down year over year last month, indicators that the national market could be slowing. The national average home price in June was $369,339, down 0.8% from the same month last year, but prices increased in Calgary, remained strong in Toronto, and continue to slow in Vancouver. Home sales have dropped 4% in the past 2 months, and Mandani said the trend is likely to continue, given Ottawa's recent move to further tighten mortgage rules by capping the maximum amortization term at 25 years. Considering that there is usually a lag between a drop in home sales activity and prices, Mandani believes a decline in home prices could come in 5 to 9 months. So we're sitting here in July now, and he's saying that a decline in the home prices could come in 5 to 9 months. Now we scroll down, so I don't have to read the whole article to you. We've got house prices now that are just so completely detached from underlying fundamentals, he said. Rabideau said that most likely scenario is either a quick correction or a slower correction, also known as a soft landing. I did a few videos last year. They were titled Economic Collapse. I think there's 4 or 5 parts to that series. And in that series I was talking about the fact that coming here in Canada there was going to be a drastic decline in the prices of housing that is present in Canada. The prices of houses were going to drop, and I quoted, I said perhaps about 25%, between 25 and 30%. That's what I had seen. After having done some research and looking into numbers, that's what I was anticipating to happen. Now, here in the report that I just read you, this is what they are saying, that Canadian home prices are going to fall. And they say that's going to fall by 25%. And this is coming out now in July 25th of 2012. Now they qualify it, they say that it's going to fall by 25%, and they put this dash and they say long term, in long term. Now when you begin to read the article, you see that the men or the writers or those who have had an opinion in this article state that they believe that 1 or 2 things can transpire. Either we can have something that is titled or designated a soft landing, or we can have something that is titled or designated a drastic drop in the home prices. They say that a soft landing would happen with over a year, a period of a year. That's what they would call a soft landing. So if you lost 25% of the value of your home within 1 year, that would be considered a soft landing. Now these writers are also saying that a drastic drop could happen between 4 to 9 months, and within 4 months you could lose 25% value of your home. They're saying in the article that right across Canada the average price of a home is $366,000. So if you lost 25% of that value of your home, that would be kind of ridiculous. The average price of a home across Canada is $366,000. Now they're saying that we're going to lose 25% off of that amount. That would equal to roughly $91,500 of the value of our home would disappear, 25% gone. That would mean that the house that was once worth $366,000, possibly within 4 months from now to 9 months, depending, the house will be worth $274,000, not $366 anymore. You will lose a great deal of value in that home. Now let's say when you went to buy this home that cost you $366,000, you had $20,000 savings and you used that as a down payment into the home. Now you had $346,000 left to be mortgaged. $346,000 that was left for a mortgage. So you were able to secure the mortgage because your house was worth $366,000 and the mortgage was only $346,000. So if you ever defaulted, the bank could take possession of the property and sell it and get their money back. Now let's say you've paid that mortgage for a little bit and you're down right now to $325,000. That's how much you have left on your mortgage, on your hypothec with the bank for the property. You owe them $325,000 and your house still has the value of $366,000. Now all of a sudden the 25% kicks in and you lose the value in your house. You're still owe them $325,000, but now your house is only worth $274,500. So now there's a difference of $50,000. The house is only worth $274,000. You owe the bank $325,000, and if the bank ever needed to sell the house because you defaulted, they wouldn't be able to collect. So what's going to happen now? When it's your time to renew your mortgage, to set the terms and conditions again, whether you're in variable interest rate or whenever it's time for you to do that contract again, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, depending on your term, when you go back, the bank is going to say you owe us still $325,000. Yet your property, the one that we're giving you a mortgage for or helping you to purchase, is only worth $274,000 now, because you lost 25% of the value of your home. Therefore, we can't mortgage you the full amount of money that you owe the bank. We can't mortgage you the $325,000 anymore. We can only mortgage you up to the value of your house, $274,000. Therefore, there is a shortfall of $50,000. Now, you're going to have to make up that difference. And if you don't, you're going to have to make up that difference with either a personal loan, or maybe you have a rich family member they're going to tell you, but somehow, somewhere, you're going to have to make up that difference. And if you don't, and if you can't make up that difference, they will refuse to produce a mortgage for you for the value of what you owe them, and you will lose your property. You won't be able to pay for it anymore because no one will refinance you on your mortgage, and you will be out on the street or have to find a different place to reside. This is coming across Canada. Like I said, I spoke about it about 6 or 8 months ago because I realized what was going to happen. There was a bubble being pushed here in Canada, and it's really sad to see because a lot of people have worked hard to save their down payment, and they bought into the Canadian dream of owning their own property and having to pay for it for the rest of their life. And they went out and they put their hard-earned money for their down payment into their property. And now, because of something that's totally outside of their control, outside of their hands, nothing to do with them, they're going to be placed in a situation where they're going to lose their property, lose their down payment, and basically lose their place to reside because of a 25% drop in the price of housing, because of those who are manipulating the numbers and are manipulating the markets in this world. And the majority of them who are going to be going through this and are going to find themselves on the street or losing their homes, they don't even have any understanding of what has just happened to them. They just think it's a consequence of the commerce and that's it. Rabinu noted that there is a fair amount of regional variation in Canada's housing market and pointed to differences in two of the country's biggest markets as example. Vancouver is quite likely going to fall right off a cliff. Listen to this. And he said, noting that the high-end home prices in Vancouver are on the decline. If I owned a large home in Toronto or a condo, I would have some concerns as well. But that's not to say that every city is going to experience a decline like that.